Today's class is brought to you by the letter B for back bend and is recorded before a live studio audience. If you have a bolster, get one. So in order for back bends to happen, you need to have a supple spine. Warming up the spine by initially moving forward and back from plank to downward facing dog and upward facing dog. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Then adding a chaturanga, upward facing dog, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Moving through 10 times. If you don't have a bolster, you modify. You can do forward to plank, lower your knees, chest, inhale up into Bhujangasana. Then go back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Do that 5 more times. Your neck quiet. Make sure you're leading with your heart and not throwing your head around. Press back into Adho Mukha Svanasana and hold, downward facing dog. Pedaling your feet left and right, nice and easy. Lifting both heels, bend your knees, then slowly straighten your legs. Coming onto all fours, laying on your back. Take your arms wide and windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Turn your head and your knees the same way. Good, and pick your hips up to the right, knees up and over to the left. Look toward the ceiling. Empty the breath. And turn your head to the right. Now back up to center. Take your hips to the left. Pick your knees up, put them to the right, and look to the left. Coming back to the center. Draw your knees in. Extend your left leg. Pull your right knee in. And then alternate. Left and right. Again, to the right side. And to the left. And bring both knees in. And extend your left leg again. Take your leg up toward the ceiling. Hold the back of the thigh. You're going to take the leg out to the side. You can use your strap or grab your big toe. Take your leg out to the right. Hover your left leg 1 inch off the floor. Come back to the center and switch. Take the leg up, hold the back of the thigh or use your strap. Grab your big toe or use your strap. Take the leg out to the left, head turns to the right. And hover your right leg 1 inch off the floor. Come back to the center. And come back in a downward dog. Your downward dog to upward facing dog. 5 more times. Down dog to up dog. Open your chest. Press back. Good, and walk your hands and feet together. Hands on your hips. Come all the way up. Exhaling. Good. Take your right leg back. Open up for Vimanasana. Take your arms by your hips. Look straight down at your foot. And then look ahead about 6 inches. As you're here, lift your chest just a little bit and then lower back down. 2, and down. Lift from the back of your heart and down. Lift and down. One more lift. And down and lift all the way up, Vimanasana. Turn the other way. Vimanasana. Take your torso parallel with the floor. Look ahead 6 inches. And then lift from the back of your heart. Lift and lower. Keep your back leg straight. Lift and lower. Lift. 2 more. Lift. And lift. And come all the way up. Vimanasana hold. Coming to the center, step, hop, or jump. Hands to chest height and lower. And coming into Virabhadrasana 3 from Vimanasana. Take your hands, step, hop, or jump apart. Go to your right. Vimanasana. Extend forward. Okay, you can keep your arms wide or put them by your ears and lift your back leg up. Look straight down and hold for 5 breaths. Lift the leg. Feel that same lift that you just did with your When your foot was on the floor, and slowly lower down, come back into Vimanasana and switch sides. So you're using your back muscles. These muscles are shortening. As these muscles are shortening, feel how your chest is opening. Extending, keeping your arms wide or arms by your ears, and lift. Feel your front body open. Feel the front of your spine get longer and the back of your spine get shorter. And come back down, Vimanasana. Step or hop, lower. Next, you're going to take your hands to a wall. You can use a wall or a table, or you can use a chair. If you have two chairs, you can line it up on two chairs. Or if you're in a hallway or something. You start in Uttanasana with your arms straight and your legs parallel. And bring your legs together and lift your right leg up. If you're using another chair behind you, your toes are on the chair behind you, your arms extend. And feel your back get shorter and the front of your spine get longer. Looking straight down without dropping your head. And switch. Feet are parallel. Take your leg back. Good. And hold Uttanasana with the arms extended. Concave back, so you're shortening your back and lengthening your front. Feel your tailbone move upward. Exhaling. Inhaling to come up to standing. Go ahead and move your chair out of the way. Come back to your mat. Now, if you are menstruating, then don't go onto your belly. Go onto all fours. Otherwise, let's do plank now before we go into any further. So doing plank for 1 minute. Put the timer on. Remember, if you are doing one leg at a time, you can do from all fours. You can do from all fours, extending, alternating, or you come down onto your forearms. Get ready? Set and go. Holding plank, eyes over thumbs. Press firmly into the floor with your forearms. Keeping your kneecaps lifting. Make sure you're breathing. If you're on one side, switch. Eyes over thumbs. Count down. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And rest. Take 3 more deep breaths here. Now again, if you're menstruating, you're going to do this from all fours. You're going to alternate lifting from here like this. Okay, make sure you're also lifting your spine and let your arm and leg be an extension of your spine. Otherwise, you're going to come to the floor and lift your right arm and your left leg and lower. Alternating, hold for 1 moment and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Feel your arm and leg get longer as you lift. Keep the back of your neck soft. The next time you lift, hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. And the other side, hold 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. And again, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. And again, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Take your arms by your side. Palms face down, legs close together. Unless you have low back pain. If you have low back pain, your legs are about hip distance apart. Palms face the floor. Bring the legs in and lift. If you're doing this and your pelvis is digging into the floor, then put a blanket underneath your pelvis. Again, if you're menstruating, you're not doing this, you go into Supta Baddha Konasana. Supta Baddha Konasana for menstruation. Feet together, palms up. And rest. Then come up again. This time interlace your fingers behind your back and lift. Draw your shoulders onto your back and lift. Engage your inner thighs and lift. Lift from your heart. And release. Turn your head to one side, palms face up. Come into Bhujangasana. Hands out in front, under the shoulders, and press up. You make sure your legs are together, about hip distance apart, a little further apart if you have low back pain. When you do back bends, your legs should not be too far apart because that's going to push stress on your back. Press your hips forward. See if you can come up a little bit higher. And gently lower down. Turn your head the other way. Palms face up. Dhanurasana. Grab your ankles. If you don't have access to your ankles, use a strap. Put a strap around your strap around your ankles or your shins. If you need a break, if you're doing a lot of this and your low back is hurting, then do child's pose over your bolster. If you have one, put the bolster up, lying over your bolster like this. This will give you a little bit of break from all that forward extension. So Dhanurasana, which is also known as bow. If you have trouble grabbing your shins or just below your feet, takes a little bit of maneuvering, but reach, before you even lift up, reach as close as you can to your legs and walk it up and then push to lift yourself up. Otherwise, you grab your legs and push. Make sure your thumb is up against your hand. And gently release. I'm going to do it again. Now you can do it again if you have a bolster. Give yourself a little bit of a boost. And kick yourself up. You'll notice I'm much higher with the bolster. Open your chest. Whether you're using a bolster or not, you're holding yourself up. And gently release. You can actually, if you have a bolster, you can actually lay over your bolster. Now come onto your back. Go into a bridge pose. Sajjabandha Sarvangasana. So you're laying on your back. And take a block and put it between your knees. So your legs are parallel. Put a block between your knees. And lift. Walk your shoulders in. Make sure that once you're up, that you keep your head facing the ceiling. And press. Feel your arms getting longer as you press. And gently lower down. Rest for a moment. And press up again. Squeeze the thighs together. Work your shoulders in. Maybe you hold your shins or your tops of your ankles and press to lift. Don't force it if it's not happening. Feel your chest open. Your front of your spine gets longer. The back of your spine gets shorter. Press. And gently lower down. The next time you come up, you can come up the exact same way or go into Urdhva Dhanurasana. We did Dhanurasana, which was bow pose. Urdhva Dhanurasana is when you flip that over, take your arms by your ears, squeeze your thighs together, and press up. Oh. Keep your thighs in. And slowly lower down. Let your back get long. Release the support from your knees. Support is Satyabandha Sarvangasana. Now take the blocks, if you have them. You can put one or two under your rear end. Never on your spine directly. And then make sure your legs are close together. Your palms face the ceiling. Look straight up. And bring your legs even closer together. And take your right knee in and straighten your leg up toward the ceiling. Still pressing the backs of your arms into the floor. Feel your chest open. So press your heart forward. Feel your shoulders going more onto your back. And lower down. And lift your left knee. Straighten it toward the ceiling. Make sure that your right knee stays centered. Don't let it bow out to the side. And continue to feel your chest open, shoulders on your back as you press your arms into the floor. And gently lower. And take both legs up. You might have to adjust the way you're over the blocks with both legs up. If it doesn't feel good for you to do both legs up, remember if you're menstruating, your legs are not going up. If it doesn't feel good with your legs up like this, you could do it just on the floor with your legs up, with holding with a strap. And lower the legs. Hold. And slowly lower. And then take the block behind your head to soften your back a little bit. Take your hands onto your belly and push your belly down toward the floor. So you're tilting your pelvis. Rolling over onto your side. Coming up into Bharadvajasana. So take your legs parallel. You can use a block or you can use a bolster. You use both of your blocks. Take your right foot into your left arch and sit sideways. But make sure that when you're sitting, that your pelvis is level. So if you want to sit off of the support, notice that I need support because my hips are not level. So supporting the hips. Inhale up with the left arm and exhale, twist to your right. From the front, looks like this. So your knees are level. Your knees are straight. Pull to turn.
Michelle, one question. When you are sitting like this, your weight has to be on which leg? Because for me, the weight falls on the leg which is supported with a block. So is it okay?
Try to find, it is gonna be on there, but you don't want it to be on there so much that you're doing this.
Okay.
Yeah. This turn is coming from, we did a lot in the shoulders. So this turn is more for your shoulders than for your hips. So if you were to turn as much as you possibly could, then you certainly would turn and you would keep turning and eventually you would come to standing. Does that make sense?
I understood, yeah.
So that's where yoga turned into Feldenkrais. So switch sides on your own. Take your feet parallel and make sure your feet are out to the side a little bit. Again, when you turn, you're just turning from your shoulders. We're opening up the back so you can pull to rotate and ground through your right hip. Ground through your right hip. Turn, use your eyes to turn. Lift your chest as you rotate. Then unwind. And now we're going to do it on Bharadvajasana 2. This may be a little bit advanced for some people. So if Bharadvajasana 2 doesn't work for you, you do the first one a second time. Okay? So Bharadvajasana 2, you take your right foot behind you in a Virasana leg. Virasana leg, your foot is just past your hip on this side. So when you look down at your knee, it's straight. So you don't want your leg out like this or too far in. You want it just straight like this. Your rear end is on the block or on a bolster. You take your other, also might need a stretch. Take your other knee, gently move your knee in. So you hold your foot like this and pull it in toward the top of your thigh. Okay, now here's something, a little trick. This is why the reason why I straighten my leg is because this knee is sensitive, right? So the first time I did it, my knee was like, I don't really like that. So I said, okay, knee, let's do that again. Let's see if this works. Now, if you're someone who has knee pain and your knee tells you no one day, listen to your knee because your knee knows things, right? Now, from here, we're going to go into a twist. If you can, you're going to take your left hand and reach behind you and grab your foot, okay? If that doesn't happen, then you take a strap and put it around your foot and reach. So you're taking your hand and reach it behind you like this, and you rotate to turn. Again, your hip is staying on the block, right? Because then if you begin to turn, you might even fall over. So you're turning from your ribs and your shoulders. Look around yourself, use your eyes, and relax your jaw. So I'll show you what this looks like from the back. So switch sides. You take your other leg behind you. You're sitting on a block. Reach behind. And you rotate. So just like in the back bend, your knee is not out super wide. Your knee is in. You turn. Pull yourself to turn. And gently release. Marichasana. Did you say something? No? Okay. All right. So after we've done all those back bends, we need to do twists. So that's why we're doing a series of twists. Next twist is Marichasana. So you use a support. If you're menstruating, you do an open twist. You put a block behind you to when you're sitting on elevation. Open twist, you put your foot out hip distance apart and you turn. Closed twist, your foot is in. And move your knee as far up your armpit as you can. Grab your boobs and move them out of the way and twist. Even if your boobs are not huge, grab them anyway and move them out the way. And press your knee and your arm into each other. Empty your breath. Okay. Inhaling to unwind. Again, you can do an open twist with your foot hip distance apart. Okay? Open twists are nice too. Open twists are nice too. You do this if you're menstruating or if it doesn't feel comfortable to go towards your knee. Inhale up. Make sure you pull your knee in nice and close. If you're having trouble sitting, then sit on top of something. It makes it much easier to do this twist. Make sure you're not letting your leg go out to the side. Empty your breath. Look over your shoulder. Inhaling back to center. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. Sit up. Take 5 deep breaths. Good. Now going into Baddha Konasana and Supta Baddha Konasana. So remember, the Supta Baddha Konasana is Virasana. Supta Virasana is a quite a challenging pose. Let's go into Virasana first. So going into Virasana, if you can't do Supta Virasana, you can do Virasana, then do Virasana. You sit on top of a support and you give yourself just enough support to ground yourself, because your muscles are going to activate against the pose if you don't give yourself support. For instance, right here, I'm on the floor, but I'm barely on the floor. So at any moment, I just feel myself wanting to lift up. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit of a boost underneath the hips. Right? Make sure that when you sit that you're, so say you need the opposite. You might need a whole skyscraper. It's a little high, but for some people this might not be high at all. It's still Virasana. This might feel like a lot for somebody, but they're supported. So maybe you do it near a chair or something, so you don't feel unstable. Just make sure that they're firm blocks. Also check your knees. Look down. Your knees should be no further than hip distance apart. Hip distance is going to be just a few inches. And you can massage your foot. Virasana helps to build arches in your feet. And it opens up the front of your shin. It's something you should do every day if your knees are sensitive. It's like eating your vegetables. So if you're going to take Supta Virasana right now, then do that, or go into Supta Baddha Konasana. Supta Virasana, you give yourself a support. That support could be a bolster and a pillow, or it could be a block. This gives you a little bit higher support. With another block behind it this way, it should be fairly close. This block is going to go right between your shoulder blades, right at the top, right where your wing, in between your wings. That's what's gonna open this here. You sit on. Now make sure that when you go down over your blocks, that your legs don't go apart. So you put the strap around your knees. If this pose doesn't work for you, just do Supta Baddha Konasana. Lay on your back with the soles of your feet touching and be happy. Otherwise, you're going to lay over very gently over the block, the head resting, and reach for opposite elbows. You can also reach your arms straight. You can gently squeeze your buttocks. Find that space between squeezing and relaxing. Switch the crossing of your arms. Stay for 5 more breaths. You begin to release the pose. Go into Adho Mukha Virasana, child's pose. We do classically, your hips back and your arms extended. Or you can do over your bolster, which will help to round out your back. If you don't have a bolster but you have blocks, you can put 2 blocks in a blanket. The alternative, just find something to lay over. Lay over Charlie, lay over your dog or something. Or some Robbie, I don't know. If you have a tiny dog, they might not like it. So you can use your blocks to lay over. You can even lift your blocks up a little bit. Cotton came, Cotton, let me lay on you. She said, hell no. So you're laying over your support. Hips are moving back towards your heels. Turn your head. Make sure when you do this that your knees are not too wide. You don't want to try to take your knees all the way out to the sides. And you can let this be your Shavasana today. You can stay in child's pose, or you can go into Shavasana laying on your back. You decide how you want to be. You can also do Shavasana laying on your belly. Especially if you have a bolster. You lay over. Unless you're menstruating, don't smash your belly. Laying in Shavasana, allow yourself to be comfortable. So if you got into a spot where you thought it was comfortable, and you were like, man, that's not really that comfortable, then move. Today's random reading is from the Four Agreements. The third agreement, don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. We make the assumption that everyone sees life the way that we do. We assume that others think the way we think, feel, the way we, okay, I said that wrong. We assume that others think the way we think, feel the way we feel, judge the way we judge, and abuse the way we abuse. This is the biggest assumption that humans make. And this is why we have a fear of being ourselves around others. Because we think everyone else will judge us, victimize us, abuse us, and blame us as we do ourselves. So even before others have a chance to reject us, we have already rejected ourselves. That is the way the human mind works. We also make assumptions about ourselves, and this creates a lot of inner conflict. Quote, I think I am able to do this. You make this assumption, for instance, when you discover you aren't able to do it. Or you make this assumption, for instance, then you discover you aren't able to do it. You overestimate or underestimate yourself because you haven't taken the time to ask yourself questions and to answer them. Perhaps you need to gather more facts about a particular situation, or maybe you need to stop lying to yourself about what you truly want. Often you go into a relationship with someone you like, you have to justify why you like that person. You only see what you want to see, and you deny that there are things you don't like about that person. You lie to yourself just to make yourself right. Then you make assumptions, and one of the assumptions is, my love will change this person. But this is not true. Your love will not change anybody. If others change, it is because they want to change, not because you can change them. Then something happens between the two of you and you get hurt. Suddenly you see what you didn't want to see before. Only now it is amplified by your emotional poison. Now you have to justify your emotional pain and blame them for your choices. We don't need to justify love. It is there or not there. Real love is accepting other people the way that they are without trying to change them. If we try to change them, this means we don't really like them. Then it goes on and on. So don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. So take your time to slowly come out of the pose, laying on your side for a moment. Laying on your side helps to normalize your blood pressure and get you ready for sitting up. Laying on your right side in particular is less stress on your heart. Coming up into a comfortable seat with palms at heart center. Feel how you're feeling right now. Embrace your peace and bring it with you throughout the rest of your day. Namaste, y'all. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up for yourselves and each other, because it really does make a difference.